times that one energy comes in and then another comes in straight after that. But it was a very fascinating one, especially what was said at the beginning with both dragon energies that were saying about the bubble that we had created. It's something actually, if you think back to what the Dharma said, and actually even in Den Helder, then you understand it now, you see the bigger picture. And also for us, and for the rest of the fellowship, it has felt as though we just said it yesterday, that we are having one big seminar, a 13-day seminar lasting all that time. And now I understand why, because it's actually leading to one place. At the same time, the things that were being given, the extra information about the photonic tachyonic barrier of the all that is also very fascinating. But then, what I particularly loved is the ease and the simplicity with which the illusion of separation was handled. So it's probably going to continue being worked out, because the entire second part of the Mastering the Grand Illusion series is going to be about separation. So we'll see the scientific angle on that, but I thought it was very nice to begin with a very simple, poetic version of it, so that we can grasp what is going to be said in the Ikaraya to come tomorrow, probably. So I hope we'll all enjoy that one. Let's go on with the rest of the Ikaraya and the possible Q&A, because I've got a feeling this one is going to turn out a little bit differently. But there's going to be some sort of thing going on. Looking forward to finding out exactly what it is, because it's being hidden away from me at this point as well. Okay, one way to go. There we go again. Last time for the day. It's already the 4th day. It's amazing, huh? Tomorrow we have to pack up again. I have to tell you this thing. It's insane. You know what the guy said at the store? Oh, get that one, it's much more comfortable. It's like I'm being, there's some sort of needle put in my ears every time I put that one on. Oh. Anyway, okay, let's go. So let's go back to that space of silence, stillness, grace. Just let those words come out of you, their meaning, the real energy behind the words. We should all do that more often. I was just talking to Caroline the other day about how words and old energy keep us in that paradigm all the time. We should try to look for the meaning behind the words, the real energy behind the words more often. A word like grace, grace, grace. What does that do to you? A word like beauty. You feel the different vibration. Love. All those words that we use every day, and actually we don't really know their meaning. So go into your inner space now and find the stillness. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Kuthumi. Namaste. Hello everybody. I thought I'd come in tonight. This is actually a night to bring you some more of the simplicity that you have been listening to today. And I promise, as I will answer your questions, I will promise this time to behave.
That was promised.
Yes, it was. It was. It's such a long time since I saw all of you. How have you all been? Yes. Oh, funny that. Anyway, Imzaia, I am very happy again to be here with all of you, and I would like to offer you some more insights on the things that have been said in the past few days, especially the one that you heard about separation. Separation is one of the very, very important issues that are going on with the planet today. You find it everywhere. Separation of country, separation of race, separation of gender. It is showing up in so many different aspects of your life, and you don't even see it is there. So how about, instead of I just separating myself from you and giving you this information, we are going to work on this one together. Let us talk, you and I, about the notion of separation. And I would invite all of you to sit in this chair and to give your views on separation as we talk about it, and we see how we can deal with that. We can deal with that tragedy that has taken place on this planet Earth. The notion of separation, of course, began when we tried to separate ourselves, all of us, from that notion of source. When we thought that we were no longer belonging to that unity, to that oneness, you see. We imagined that we all were guilty for the separation, and it's actually the guilt which is the authentic illusion. The one underlying all of them, you see? It is the guilt, with a T, that generated the illusion of separation. Because we were afraid to unify ourselves again with Source, because we had believed to have been separated from it. So guilt is a very important trigger for so many people on planet Earth, and it is constantly harassing you in your lives, is it not? Guilt. How many times do you want to make a decision? How many times do you want to take a step that will change your life? And how many times aren't you stopped in that decision because of guilt? Because you feel you have to uphold something that somebody wants from you. And if you don't give that which somebody wants from you, you feel guilty about it. And that starts up an entire chain of emotion, which eventually leads to all the illusions you have created for yourselves. You see? That is the trick. It is going under that seedling of guilt that is everywhere, present everywhere, in every thought, in everything, in every body, in everyone. That is guilt. At least when everyone is still a concept. You see, the notion of everyone is not a oneness concept. It is a dualistic concept because everyone includes more than one. While in the one, there can be no guilt. It is impossible for you to have guilt when you are one with all things around you. But guilt is still the driving force of your world, of your life. It is. How many of you haven't felt guilty as you came here for these 5 days? So many of you have felt guilty because it meant leaving behind your families or leaving behind others around you that were expecting things from you. And you don't even feel you have the liberty to reschedule your appointments. I have even seen people here in the last few days that were here attending this seminar and in the end decided to go home anyway, to not give themselves that gift anyway, because they felt they were needed elsewhere, because others would have a type of judgment on them. So here is the layer that you have problems with. It begins with the authentic thought of guilt. That creates a type of judgment which is dualistic, because it is both the observer and the observed which is judged. And it is that type of judgment that is creating your separation. You see. Isn't that interesting? All of the things that you do in life are founded on that principle. Guilt, judgment, duality, separation. And that kicks into life all of those illusions that you are working with. And it does so on a day-to-day basis. So if you are going to work with yourself, if you are going to look at yourself and see what you can actually do, begin there. Begin with the authentic notion of guilt. And let us explore this a little bit. Let us explore guilt. Like you have been exploring separation and fear and death before the break, let us explore the notion of guilt. Where is it coming from? Does anybody know? What is creating guilt? And I don't want you to say that it is being created because of the authentic separation from the God concept, because that is too far-stretched. We need to go closer by, closer to home, closer to your very heart. What is creating the notion of guilt?
Fear. Fear.
What have to do with that thing? Can't you do that? Oh.
I guess it's fear for what is coming over you.
Yes.
Fear.
Fear about what?
About the meanings of the other person you are.
Mm-hmm.
You choose for yourself, and
Yes.
you then don't do it because you are afraid of what other people will say to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's fear.
Fear is the basis for guilt.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. That is true in a way. But there is a but indeed.
Yes.
There is a but. There is my but, there is your but, there is everybody's but. What did you want to say, darling? We'll get back to you in a minute. I just want to hear all of the opinions.
For me, it was the judgment makes me fear and guilty
Yes.
about nationality, about the war, and I felt.
Yes. You felt that a lot.
Yes.
That fear of being guilty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Not me, but the way they talk about us. Yes.
I understand. I understand. Okay. Let's go on. You had something to say, or you?
Yeah. The story of Adam and Eve,
Yes.
descending out of the paradise.
Isn't that a fucked up story?
Yes, but it is, that plays a role in every culture.
Yes.
The same story.
It is true.
The sin of inheritance.
It is true.
How do you call it? The erfzonde.
The original sin.
The original
The original sin, yes. I wonder why. It's not very original.
No.
Yes?
I feel guilty because of expectations and the engagement you made towards something, and then you choose to stop this. I have a funny thing to tell later on.
Okay.
And the expectations and the engagement you did.
Yes.
And now you want to stop it. And
Yes.
you're inviting me to stop it.
Yes.
You must, you have to. And
You have to
I
pull
don't
through.
have to do anything.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's true. So, we have a lot of interesting concepts here. We have the concept of fear underlying the guilt that we were talking about. And then there is also the fear of being judged, and then there is the original sin, and then there is the engagement. All of those things, however, are to be drawn back to the notion of separation. Because it is that separation that is bringing you into this paradigm, you see? And the paradigm is a very tricky one, because it is a paradigm that will paralyze your consciousness completely. And it will also at the same time, and that is the double helix thing here at work, it will also paralyze the mind. So what is happening to your mind is that you are taught that your mind is authentic, yes? That it is yours. That it is a part of you. And the guilt and the fear for separation is not showing up because of the creation of the mind alone. The mind is also imitating its own creation. Because the mind feels guilty. The mind feels separated. The mind is feeling the fear. While at the same time, it was the fear and the separation and the guilt that created the mind in the first place. So you have a very, very double story going on. You have the separation itself, yes, and then you have the mind acting out that separation through guilt and through fear over and over and over again. And it shows up in so many of the things that you do every single day. Every time the mind is creating more and more and more separation within itself. And it is doing it at a very subtle level. It is even doing it by working with space and time. Because it is separating second after second after second after second. And every single second you lose an aspect of you. A little bit of your divinity and of your total energy is supposedly lost in the past. The notion that exists on this earth and that is telling you you can never go back, you can never change what you have done. Once you have done it, it is unavoidably there. And it is now part of the past, and as such, you are not going to be able to get it back. You have lost all that time. So, as you think that way, your total energy is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the room that you are in is also getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you separate more and more and more of yourself. And in the end, there is nothing left. I have told you that concept several times already. In the end, there is nothing left. Yet, there is a way. And the way is not separation, but liberation. You see, it is like you have put thousands and thousands and thousands of seconds in your lifetime, hundreds of thousands, millions of seconds that your lifetime has. You keep building a prison every second for a tiny little part of your energy. And you separate yourself more and more and more as time is going on. You see, and you do it because you feel guilty anyway. Deep down, even though you don't realize it. You are all feeling guilty. That is why you are all separated. That's why you're all separate, otherwise you wouldn't be feeling guilty. And otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here right now. You would probably be having a drink with me somewhere on Venus or something. Oh, Venus. I actually am thinking of getting a little house there, a little condo. Yes, for my old age, you see.
Oh, can I come over?
Oh, you are way too young for me, Chicky.
Oh, what's young, what's old? Het is eruit.
I know you've had your eye on me for a very long time. I see you watching.
Yeah? You noticed.
And I watch back.
Okay.
Yes. So anyway, my beloved Imzaia, isn't that what you are doing all the time? Isn't that how you turn something as beautiful actually as the time-space field, which was a wonderful experiment, which was a wonderful creation, into something as dull as linear time? And you stretch yourself out on that linear time, and you eventually again end up with nothing. There is nothing left of you, and all you can do in the end is let go of the body and start recollecting all those pieces that you have lost along the way. If you had the ability to keep your energy with you as time is progressing, that is the key into stepping into circular, or in the end infinite, time. Just make sure that you are not losing pieces and bits of yourself with every passing second. And actually you are doing it right now. You are doing it right now. Your entire brain, your entire body is programmed that way, you see. It is programmed to be in linear time and to actually let the body grow older as the linear time is progressing. But if you could, and you can, because you are in your top life, don't forget that, if you could just take all of those pieces, all of those seconds, if you could liberate those energies that are you, if you could liberate them once again, if you could just press one button and all the prison doors would go open immediately. You have these prisons in the United States now that can do that. That is a key to find that liberation, because once you recollect all of your energy and you put it together again, then you open yourself up for totality. And with totality comes liberty, because totality no longer generates the concept of separation. In totality there can be no separation, right? It is impossible. So when you are in that state of totality, automatically you are reverted back into a different experience of the time-space field. In this top life, where you have the ability of all of your energy at hand, everything, everyone, every aspect and every prison cell that is every second of all your lifetimes are now present within your matrix. If you set all of those free, you exit the concept of linear time. You stop the process of linear thinking. And that type of liberation actually makes it impossible to have a further state of separation. And as the separation goes, so start to go all the other illusions, and they are brought back to their own pure self. Because that is what it is all about. In fact, form and time and space and all that is something pretty neat and beautiful to experience. So take away your past. We have told you this. But taking away your past goes beyond just leaving everything around you and moving into a different space. It also means cleaning up after yourself in a way, in an energetic way. You have left a mess, Imzaia. You have left a mess of yourself scattered through time and through space. You have to clean up that mess. You cannot go when there are pieces of yourself missing. And when the beautiful, beautiful dragon energies were speaking with you today, and when they were asking you, how pure are you? What they could actually say is, how complete are you? Because your complete state is a state of full purity. It is only in breaking yourself down in all these little things that you leave your purity behind you, because you are no longer whole. And purity is all about wholeness. So clean up after yourself. Take all of those pieces back with you. Reclaim every second that you have been separating your energy from you, and you become that fullness once again. I'm not saying that you can't master the illusions without doing that. You can actually master the illusion of time and start to grow younger, even if you have all those scattered pieces. But we are talking now about something completely different. We are talking now about a complete cleanup, not just happening in this life that you are living now, but happening in all the lives at once, all of them, even the potentials for life that you have had. That type of cleanup, that coming together of an energy, a totality, is so beautiful, so beautiful. This is something, actually, what I am telling you now, is a practice that was, let's say, invented by that one that you know, my good friend Adamus, who actually did that for the first time himself, as he was on his path to ascension. And we all learned a great deal from that, because even though we had found ourselves in an ascended state before we met Adamus, there was still a link to the earth. It is Adamus that told us not to think as humans anymore, that let go of that humanity and only to call yourself by the name of Master. Of course, Adamus has always been one who has been very fierce when he started to put his heart to something. So it is logical that he would be the one to bring that in. But remember these things. And I just wanted to give you this as an introduction. And now I would like to turn this into a conversation. So who wants to have a conversation?
There was a question that was coming up with me. About what was really first, the guilty or the separation?
Well, that's like the chicken or the egg thing, isn't it? And you solved that question last night. Just so you know, the chicken came first. Without the chicken, how could there have been an egg? So the chicken was manifesting itself first before it could generate an egg. It's like saying there would be a baby before there was a man and a woman, right? So anyway, which came first? The concept of guilt or the concept of separation? I'm going to answer you in a way that is not going to satisfy you. They came both at the same time.
Because
yes. Yeah, they came both at the same time. One thing led to another.
And both created a mind?
Yes, as the Atlantean ascended, both created the concept of mind because they separated themselves, and at the same time it created a guilt within the unity consciousness. And that ended up in the mind, and the mind is still reproducing that guilt today, all the time, in anything that it does. It feels that it needs to be guilty, it feels that it needs to suffer. So that is what is going on. Do you understand that?
Yeah. I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you. The love angel. I'm going to say that again. The love angel. No, I'm going to say it again. The love angel. Now we're all going to say it again. The love angel. Now you say it.
Love angel.
Oh, baby. Yes. Hello, love angel.
I'm sorry, I just have another story to tell.
Ah, well.
Well, just to show everybody how easy it is to get trapped in the separation thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I decided to jump. During the break, I called the interim office to tell them I won't come back.
Mm-hmm.
I will stop the contract immediately.
Wow.
And then she said, yes, but you have to go until the end of the week. You have to do this. And I immediately said, yes, okay.
Yeah. Duh.
But I really don't want to go back, no.
Why did you say yes? Let's look at that.
It was an automatic reaction.
You know why? Because you are told to automatically say yes to authority. That is what you are told on this planet. There are supposedly people like police and stuff that have control over you. And you have to say yes when they ask for your passport, or when they ask to search you, or when they ask for whatever. And that is why you automatically say yes. You are learning that there are people that are higher than you, and you have to agree with them. Otherwise you are not playing the game and they're gonna fuck you in the... Yes. But then again, as the love angel, why don't you just call them back and tell them to go and sit on something?
I will I'm stretching time to call them before 6 o'clock and tell them I don't have to do anything.
Okay. Shall we all call them together?
But I can do it alone.
Yes, you can do it alone. That's also separation. There is no alone. There is no alone in anything. You are all one, all the time. But that story is a very interesting story because you will learn, and especially like the dragon energies have told you about what will happen to your mind programming and your mind control as you will step out of this bubble soon, as you step back into the world to do your things. You will see that you are not going to have that automated reaction towards authority. And that is when Ekara's message about how dare you is really going to kick in.
Oh, we all get present again.
Ah, well.
From one present to the other.
It happens. So, you don't have to say yes to authority. You also don't have to say no to authority. Because it is not real. You know, just like separation, authority is an illusion. Authority is a combination of many different illusions actually, if you think about the depth of it, but it is not real. It is only real when you allow it to be real. When you say, okay, these people have authority over me and I accept that because I'm a teeny little human in a big world and I need protection. If you say that, then you are going to need authority. But do you know how much violence is actually stimulated by mind control? How many people are fighting and stealing and killing each other because of mind control, so that there could be an enforcement, so that there could be a police state, because that is what the world is. It is a police state. You just don't see the immediate effects of it. You see, you are living 1984, George Orwell, all over again. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just say nothing. Just say consciousness. So that is what you need to do. But it's a good step that you took, because there are things waiting for you. Yes.
Tell me about it? No.
Nah. It's much more fun to discover them. It's not in this country, however. Yes. Now you know. So anyway, another. There is another Skywalker. Hello.
I have a question about my relationship.
Oh, that. Yes. Let's stop there before you ask the question. What is happening now? What is that? I know it is tears, but why are they there? Fear about what? Alone, which is separation, which is an illusion. You know this, but still you have fear. So you don't live it. But I can accept that. Let's go deeper into the fear. Why is there fear of losing your partner? What would be different if he is gone?
I don't know.
Do you think you are going to lose him?
No, not necessarily.
Then why are you crying?
When I'm talking about this, all my head is going
Yes, round and round.
and like water. So it almost is not possible to get it clear.
So let's go deeper. If you are afraid of being alone, then you think you obviously need a type of protection against the world. When did you learn that the world was not safe? Well, you don't have to answer that, because I know, and you know as well. And we're going to keep this now between us for a moment. But you will learn that the world was not safe. You can be taught this in so many different ways. Everybody has their own way of learning this. But in your case, you especially wanted a male to protect you. And a very soft male at that, in a good way. Not a macho male, but a man who would be there for you and protect you against the world. And at the same time, you have attracted somebody who has the exact same thing. He also needs his protection from the world, although he will never say this almost, but you are that protection. So you are doing the same things to one another. You see? What you need to know is that letting go of the relationship itself is not going to be letting go of the love you have for that person. So many others, Joshua and so many others have spoken so many times about the deepening of love as you start to let go of the dependency that exists within the relationship. So if you do that, then you are going to see that you are just going to get closer. You are no longer going to be close in separation, but you are going to be bang, smack right on each other in the oneness. You see? So there is nothing to fear, and there is nothing to cry about. All that you have learned is the way society has taught you to think about relationships, and it has ended up in your mind and in your ego. People oftentimes think that letting go of a dependency also means letting go of somebody. And it isn't always that way. In some cases it is that way, but in other cases it isn't. Because for you, your biggest fear is not in the letting go of the anchor that is your relationship. Your biggest fear is being alone. You have the fear for separation. That is the trigger for you. That is what is doing it all the time. It's what's happening over and over and over again. You have worked on that, especially now that you are learning to walk with grace. But it is still showing up. So, do you understand the things I'm saying here? Is it helping?
I think so. But it also, the last days, sometimes I felt the energy of the dolphin.
Yes.
Who is not walking up,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yes,
flowing.
always flowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You are also attracted to that notion of the always flowing.
sorry.
You are also attracted to that concept, aren't you?
Is it attracted to what do you mean?
The concept of the dolphin that is always going, always moving, never holding on. That is just flowing its way through life. That is something that you actually would like for yourself, is it not? And what is stopping you? It is not the relationship, darling. It is the fear. It is the separation that has been there at that very early age, actually. So, what to do with that, huh? Actually, what you need to do, if you want to fulfill yourself again, is listen again to what I said before we started to turn this into a Q&A session. You need to actually recollect all your pieces and reclaim them again. Because there are still some pieces left in the energy field of other people. It is happening to so many people, but in your case, the only pieces that are still left, because the rest you have all reclaimed already, you have done so naturally, but there still lies a lot of pieces that have been left behind because you didn't want to take them back again completely. Although I know you know about responsibility and how things work, but you need to go back to the moment of great fear and you need to reclaim that piece and you need to make it neutral again and integrate it with yourself. As you do that, you are no longer going to be afraid of letting go of the supposed relationship, because you are going to have wonderful moments in your life. That's what you are going to create for yourself, because you are a good creator at that. At creating wonder and beauty. You're very good at that. That's why you work with children and their parents will be very successful, because you are going to create so much beauty. All I can say is, if I look at the potentials of your life, there is not one negative left. There is no negatives left. You have used the potential, because even though many people think they are just listening to these words as they have been coming in the last few days, and that they are not doing anything with it, they actually are. And you have automatically, without even realizing it, used potential to create from negative potentials only positive potentials. So all I could tell you is step without fear, walk without fear, because it's no longer necessary in your life. Not with regards to loved ones, not with regards to work situations, not with regards to being able to do what you came on this planet to do. It's actually all lining up. The only thing that is left is that you need to go back and reclaim some of your energy still. And then you are going to be a rocket in space.
And is it from persons or is it
No, it is not from persons. Actually, the strange thing, it is from environments in your case. You are still connected to certain environments where fear came upon you. You did it with the people, but you didn't do it with the things around you at the time. It's strange, I know, but that's the way reality works. The things around you, like this room, contain as much energy as the people that are sitting here and are also connected to you. So take the energy from the things that you were in as situations of fear were happening in your past. That is the key to you. And the rest, you need to know. You have worked through many life lessons, and all that is left now is grace, as you know. And if you can find that grace completely, well, yes, that. You understand? Wonderful. Thank you.
When this lady speak to you, I was wondering when we will pick up the pieces of pain, sadness or fear, but we will forget a part of our lives. How can we
do that?
Yeah, I was about 7. I can remember what's happening.
Look,
but before, I don't know.
I won't tell you how to do it, I'll just tell you what to do.
That was
It is very simple, my love. You need to decide. You don't need to go through your day-to-day experience of your past and look at every space that you've ever been in, etc., 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 and clean it all up. You need to decide. When you choose to do it, it will be an automatic process that will start to take place, because all of those memories, even though you can't remember them sometimes because they are buried too deep, are still within the third brain, right here. They are all there, all those memories. And the consciousness also has the ability to look within the mental world, to look within the world of the brain. It has that opportunity, it can do that. Consciousness can look in on the mind, but the mind cannot look out on consciousness. You see? But the consciousness can look in to the third brain and start reclaiming all those pieces, because really, where else does the past still exist than within there? All the rest is now. And the only difference between the one now moment and the other now moment within the infinity of all things is what is in there. It is your brain, your mental memory. And all you need to do, let the consciousness do, is start working on the brain. It is, you see, I'll tell you this. The prison that I was talking about is not a prison of walls and metal. It is a prison of the mind. So it is within the human brain itself, which is a multidimensional tool also to be used for the mind. Yes? That this huge prison is created second after second after second, and every second a new prison cell is created and a little bit of energy is put in it. It is not somewhere in deep space. You don't have to go to a planet with a starship and reclaim that energy by your photon torpedoes and everything. All you need to do is go into the mind, go into the brain. It is in the brain that you find all those missing pieces. You see, Komaya is getting it. I see the nod of the Zen warrior. And others are getting it too, I hope. Now, you could again ask, how do I get into my brain? I won't tell you how, I will tell you what to do. How do you get into your brain? What do you do about that? You just sit down, you have a cup of coffee, and you decide to do it. It is a process that is immediate. Nothing can go wrong. So just know this, it is in the mind, within the brain, literally, stored there, all these little prison cells that hold pieces of your energy as time passes. And sometimes those pieces feel so very alone that there is pain connected to it, because you see, as that piece of a negative event in your life, for instance, is put within one of these cells, there is nothing else that can get to it so that it can be resolved, so there can be a resolution, so that there can be a salvation. It cannot happen because that piece has been stuck and stored away forever if you do nothing about it. And it continues to suffer forever if you do nothing about it. That is why sometimes some people within their DNA will have effects of things happen to them in their past lives. You see? So, again, allow the process to happen. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste and all that. Hello.
Sit down.
Okay, I won't look at you for the next bit.
Okay.
Ask your question.
This is very serious.
I can tell.
I'm in a divorce now. And I think I'm over that divorce. Last seminar, in the evening, I was offered a little house.
Yes.
And as I think about that house, I feel I'm not staying there for long. As I think about that house, I feel it feels a little dark.
Yes.
And I have the feeling I'm going to travel or something. But
Well,
is it the mind? Is it my mind?
Okay, I'll tell you this. About the house, the fact that it could be light or dark is dualistic thinking. It is old energy spirituality where you needed to scare away ghosts and the like. All of that is gone in a free energy world, you see, and darkness and dark energies. That no longer has any potential for existence in an old energy world. It had, but now in a new energy world it hasn't. So, will you travel? First of all, it is not a creation of the mind, it is a passion that is within you. So, I cannot tell you if you will travel. All I can tell you is that because it is a passion, that means that the potentials are there to manifest them. So if you make the choice to travel, yes, you will travel. But if you stay in your house, and you don't book a ticket or anything, then you won't travel. It is that simple. So, you see, it is all about taking the action.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Yeah, that's clear.
It's clear?
Yeah.
Great.
I
Great.
think it's clear.
Then I wish you a happy divorce. Come in. I'm very happy to see your growth and to see all that you are doing. You are changed completely since the first time I laid eyes on you when I came in Den Helder. You changed completely. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. Aloha.
In the past few months,
Yes.
I noticed that more and more I forget things.
Yes.
Birthdays.
You have
see why I
forgotten.
don't speak.
You have forgotten the notion of birds. Are you in a divorce?
No.
Damn. Yes, you are forgetting things.
Getting things, birthdays,
Yes.
and
Appointments.
appointments,
Yes.
etc., etc.
Mhm.
And I asked myself, what's happening now? I think that's my question. Is it to do with the activation of the neutral
Neurons.
neurons
Yes.
who's scanning in?
Yes,
Okay.
it is the neutral neurons that are doing it. Because you are actually slowly forcing your brain to only accept input based on the memory of the now, and not a memory that is belonging to a past event that is not real because it isn't happening now, or a future event that hasn't happened now, so it isn't real either. You see? So the neutral neurons are making sure that you stay within the arcanaic energy, which actually keeps you in now space. And the memories of the now only emerge when they are necessary. That means that they will not activate any type of fear-based thinking, because that is a mental energy, linear energy again. Imagine, for instance, in a past event that you were brutally attacked by a man with a gun. I'm saying something, who wanted to fight with you or kill you or whatever. Then you would have, as an automatic reaction for the rest of your life, if that caused a trauma, you would for the rest of your life have an automatic reaction that if you see somebody walking around with a gun, that you would fear that person, right? Because that is what you have learned based on a previous experience. In the memory of the now, however, all fear is taken away. All pain, all suffering, all desire also, and all of that is taken away. So you would no longer interact with that person based on fear, but based on empowerment. So in the memories of the now, only will re-emerge those things that you need within that now. That is the power of the arcanaic space. And so, the fact that you are forgetting things is very simply because you don't need to remember them. It is very simple. You are one of those people, and there are so many people, not just in Belgium or Holland, but all over the world, that are stuffing their head with all types of things they need to remember, especially if they're taking care of a family. They need to remember so many different things, and then if you forget one thing, there is like a nuclear reaction or something, you know, because you didn't do that or you didn't do that while all of the life you have been taking care of people. You see? Now you are learning that that is not love. Remembering all of those things, doing all those things for your families and your friends, that's not loving them. That's just conditional. That's just saying, I'm going to prove that I love you because I need to do this and this and this and this for you. And actually, it is exploitation, because that is what their mind is hoping, that you want to prove that you love them, so that you do everything for them and you have no life of your own. You are now stepping out of that program. That is no longer running in your brain. And that is why you are forgetting these things. All I can say is, don't feel guilty about it. And don't let them, anyone, tell you to feel guilty about it. If you need to remember in the now, you will remember in the now. Which doesn't mean your life cannot be structured in some way. Like these get-togethers here also have a typical type of structure, but at the same time they have no structure. So you can just let your day unfold based on your wishes, on how you wish to see it unfold. And if there is the memory of somebody's birthday or whatever, and you would feel that you don't want to act upon that, that is also okay. But if you are forgetting it, it is a certainty that you don't need to act upon it. And it will teach the other probably, because you are then working out of synchronicity much more than before. So if you were to forget something which is going to trigger another's mind, then it's probably a good trigger for that person at that time. You are an ambassador of free energy after all, and everywhere you walk and everything you do will be in line with that concept. So even though you don't see the immediate effects of something, doesn't mean it's not there. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I have a question too.
Yes, I thought so.
I don't understand the feeling I have. I'm really grateful I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel sad all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, I don't know, it's...
Yes. You were here with the first Icaraya, yes? Today, when the dragon energies were coming in. Actually, they gave you the explanation about what is happening, why you are feeling sad. It has to do with the fact that you are in this bubble. You see this bubble that is an experiment basically that's going to burst soon and going to flood all over planet Earth. You are feeling sad because of that disconnect.
Yeah, I feel really lonely.
Yes, and it is also normal within this intensity now, because you have been going through all these seminars. And you are now at a point where you are forced to look at your individuality. As most people are forced in these last few days to look at their individuality. There is a very different energy than there was at the previous seminars. Also, the organizers of the seminar, and including Joshua, actually decided this time around not to have the group thing happen, that you were separated in groups, because you needed to go through this as a group experience, but at the same time within the group you are that individual that is discovering that he actually is a group, or that she actually is a group. So that is what is happening. It is really normal for you to feel that. Actually, I should turn it around for you, and I want to give you that gift, because the reason why you are feeling it is not because you are picking up something that is bad. It is natural right now, but you are feeling it because you are so very talented. You are very, very sensitive in picking up energies. You are an energy reader, you see? And you can become an energy weaver if you start to use the energy that you read. So see this sensitivity of picking that up as a gift. Don't see it as a negative.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Free energy.
Yes.
After tomorrow, we take me home. Kunnen we die ook gebruiken om bijvoorbeeld onze brandstoffen al als experiment aan te gaan sturen?
Oh, but that's a very interesting question.
Juist.
So I'll just repeat it. Can you use the free energy to already start changing the fuel and etc. and that sort of thing? Well, let me answer you this way. As the body is becoming archaic in energy, and it is not just those 144 cells you have around the thymus. It is happening to the entire body. You remember this all, yes? That this process is taking place. You have had a lot of information in the last few days, I know, but that was part of the information. As that is happening, I kindly remind you all of the fact that the body doesn't stop with the body. The body doesn't stop with the flesh husk. It goes on all the way to that which you call the world, and that which you call the universe, and that which you call the all that is. So as these bodies of you are getting arcanized, I'll call it that way, it is afterwards going to spread. And it is going to spread into all things around you. All the energy around you will become archaic. So it is at that point only that the free energy can actually be put to practical use. But it won't be by inventing engines and everything that will use the free energy. It will simply be that you need something to move, to go from one space to the other, or to whatever, to heat up something. And it will happen automatically, because free energy responds to your blank state DNA, with all the potential still open. And as you choose a potential, so there will be a reaction in that part of your body, which would then be a car, or whatever. Actually, this is just a conceptual thing, because you won't need a car at that point, you see? But I'm just telling you that nature and all that is around you, all matter, is going to interact with you quite differently. It's going to communicate with you. All things will be in communication. Like Ekara has been telling you a long time ago about his past in the story of him and Eae, how he was talking to all the things around him, communicating with the animals and the plant life and the mineral life, right? And in the end even with the cosmos. This is actually something that is not so far removed from humanity as you think. And as you also will like to know, the salvation of hunger, the solution for hunger on planet Earth, beginning with Africa, is going to be based on that. You see? So there is a total new way of science coming up. That is why Ekara is giving you these early insights, because that is what they are. You see?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I guess we are done then. You also have a question. Okay. Well, anyway, my beloved Imzaia, it was a nice talking to you as always. Thank you all. Thank you for undertaking this great journey that has been going on now for only a few days, but will have an effect, a larger effect than you think on planet Earth. So, what you have done here is grand, it is full of a sense of mastery, and it shows that you are ready to go on, that you are ready to take some next steps. We will be there as you will be taking these steps. Not just I, myself, Kuthumi, but also Adamus and some of the others. Oh, by the way, could you not call him Adam G anymore? He loves that name so much that I want to bog him with Adamus Saint Germain for a while. So, I am done speaking for the day. I'm going to let all of you go now because you are probably very hungry. And I will join you because it is always very interesting to pick up your conversation as you close these types of ekarayas. We base what is coming next on the information that you exchange the moment after the ekaraya, because that is the most intense moment of your day. At least then you are talking about something that matters. But it is true. Otherwise you are talking about so much crap. You're talking about things that you have to do, and places you have to go, and things you want to do, and things you don't want to do, and things you want to get away from, and things you want to get closer to. Listen to yourself sometimes, and you will see that I am not so very far removed from the truth. But anyway, we are all proud. Proud of the steps that you have taken, and the steps at the same time you are allowing us to take. We are your servants, as always, and I would like to offer my greatest respects, not just from myself, but also from Adamus Saint Germain, from Tobias, from our little family thing that we have going on, and of course, all my love to all that you are. Be picking up the pieces, clean up after yourself, and you'll be all right. And so, no. And so, it be. Namaste.